Dude, let me tell you something. I've never seen Yair Rodriguez look better. And you and I spoke about this. You talked going into the fight, you told me, you said, hey, he turned Max Holloway into a guy that was having to grapple to beat him. But Saturday, dude looked complete, and he really just utterly dominated Josh Emmett. In the time that was left in the round that Josh Emmett tapped, he could have went to round 3. He could have survived for another 5 seconds. But I think that dude was probably like, man, this is going sideways. I don't know what I'm going to do with this guy tonight in order to beat him. Like, how impressed were you with Pantera?
You know what? I was impressed with Yair Rodriguez in the Max Holloway fight with his toughness, his creativity, and striking. But when you watch Josh Emmett, you knew Josh Emmett wanted to go forward. Josh Emmett wanted to continue to put pressure on Yair Rodriguez. But the creativity in which he was striking, and then even fighting off of his back and creating the submission, I just think he is so skilled. Also, DC, we have to think about the length in which he fights with and the way that he controls the octagon by keeping the spacing. I just thought it was an amazing performance by him, and he's consistently given us these performances, and it's almost as if we don't want to recognize it. And I don't know if it's because Max Holloway has been so dominant, and also Alexander Volkanovski has been so dominant in this division, that we keep kind of saying, okay, Yair is right there, but he's not necessarily made it over the hump. After watching a performance like this that we saw against Josh Emmett, DC, is it making you think to yourself, or how much do you think to yourself, we should have been talking about this dude a little bit more, and now we will?
Yeah, just a little sooner, right? Like, just a little sooner recognizing that this kid was a champion in the making. Like, sometimes you can see something in a fighter and go, man, this dude right here has it. And it seemed like Yair had that. But he would have a hiccup here, he would have a hiccup there. Even in the fight against the Korean Zombie, when he knocked him out with 1 second left, Korean Zombie was going to get the decision. He was winning the fight. So he would have these hiccups every now and again. But it seems as though now, as he seems to be rounding into his final form, because the kid was confident. He went up to his mama right before his mom, like, blessed him before he walked into the octagon, gave him a big old hug. His dad was there. They had the cowboy hats. It was like, Brandon Moreno is a Mexican fighter, but Yair Rodriguez is also like Mexican born and bred through and through. We coached him on the Ultimate Fighter Latin America way back in the day. And the kid, the man now, because he's not a kid like he was before, he's just rounding out, man, and he looks as good as anyone. But it leads me to this question, because for 20 minutes, RC, we just went on about how great Alexander Volkanovski is. And even in my group message on Saturday, people were going, Yair this, Yair that. And then Volk fights, not even 30 minutes later, you're going, but can he beat Volkanovski? Like, what does that win by Yair do for the featherweight division? And also, even that, even as good as he looked, does he beat Alexander, who is now still the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world?
Hey, bro, I don't know if anyone at 145 can beat Alexander Volkanovski. And I think we kind of forget, dude had won like 20 straight fights as well.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't what we saw from Alexander Volkanovski on Saturday night was nothing new to him. And so in looking at Yair Rodriguez, I'm going to say this. In order to beat Alexander Volkanovski, he has to fight the best fight we've ever seen him fight. He has to be better than he's ever been. He has to be much better than he was against Josh Emmett as well. And so in thinking about that matchup, it excites you because you feel like he can do some things from a striking perspective and also fighting off of his back that not many can do, DC. But right now, if you ask me, who is that dude? Who is the guy at featherweight? I say Alexander Volkanovski, and there's no one I'm picking over him in that weight class until somebody beats him.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be tough to see someone beating Volkanovski, but you would think the length would present problems. But we've seen Volk deal with tall guys.
Yes.
You would think that the creativeness would be a problem, but we have seen him deal with creative guys. It would be hard. But I think Yair looking as good as he did last week starts to raise questions. And that's something that we didn't have at featherweight, or we didn't see on the horizon, especially after he had finished the Holloway portion of his career. We didn't know if it was going to be anyone at 145 that could compete with him. But now, watching Yair fight in the way that Yair fought lets you know that there is a viable contender. There is an interesting fight down there for him. And with the new star quality that he will take back to his weight division and the way that Yair looked on the fight night, the same night that they fought, it makes you feel like a big fight is awaiting us at 145 pounds. It's amazing. We haven't seen a champion at 145 like that since Max Holloway. It took Volk a little time, but now he's starting to have that star ability that's going to follow him back to that weight class.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.